Texas, Arch Manning, Steve Sarkisian coming in with some new weapons for the 2026 season. For me, not being a Texas fan from the outside looking in, just at the articles and what the fans are saying, I didn't know it was championship or bust for Texas this year. And I thought the semifinal playoff game was cool. Playoff game was cool. Get a win, we good. But no, they want the championship this year. Sark has been there about 6 years, 5 years now, and they're expecting a lot more from Sark at this point in time. I'm a USC fan, so we expecting a lot too. We're not in the same boat. Y'all been in the playoff before, but the thing with Sark is it's kind of with Alabama and Kalen DeBoer. What I'm seeing, I'm getting the vibe, the sense of Kalen DeBoer and Alabama. They don't really gel. The fans, some of the fans like him, they'll give him a chance, but the majority, like real diehard or downhard, he's like, "What happened to my program?" And Kalen DeBoer is ruining the legacy of Saban, the legacy of Bear Bryant. What he's doing here, but Kalen DeBoer, he's saying, "Hey, I'm cool here. I like the environment." This isn't a stepping stone job. Like you take the Alabama job to stay for here, and you stay here for good. Some Alabama fans might not feel that way in the next coming years if he doesn't, get a chip in this new college football playoff era. But they didn't make a lot of. We're not here to talk about Alabama. I just gotta get my point down. So if you're tuning in right now for the first time, I thank you so much. Go on to do what the YouTubers say. I'm not gonna say it, but Alabama in the portal, a lot of fans were mad because Hollywood Smothers was committed to Alabama. Then he decommits from Alabama, goes to Texas, and now he's saying, "Hey, it's win now. It's win now mentality. Win a championship here. That's the environment I'm getting. That's what I'm feeling from Texas." So when you see him say that, and then when he decommits from Alabama, you have a dude at Ohio State pretty much saying the same thing about Ohio State. Hey, like Alabama's not the same from when it was with the DeBoer, not DeBoer era, but Saban era. Like it's different. DeBoer's got us doing other stuff. And the practices I've been seeing, I've been watching spring practices. The coaches just they're not gripping into the players. Like at Florida, Summerall's getting into the players. He's coaching them up on stuff. It just seems like they're going through the motions at Alabama from what I'm watching online. But as you can see on the screen, the man, the myth, the legend coming from the state of Alabama, Cam Coleman, the five-star wide receiver. A lot of teams wanted them this year. Texas A&M, Texas Tech, USC, Alabama, LSU. The list goes on. This dude was wanted. Okay, and he goes to Texas. I think, from my point of view, it's the returning quarterback situation Texas has. They're bringing back Arch Manning. I know Texas A&M is bringing back Marcel Reed. I don't think they're that much different from each other, but I think Arch has a little bit more upside than Marcel Reed. He's shown more flashes than Marcel Reed, and then James Maava in big games. He hasn't. He's thrown costly interceptions, and he like down in crunch time, he hasn't looked too good. Against minimal competition, he's looked really good. But I would say with Cam, just wouldn't make sense for Cam Coleman also going to USC because they have a lot of freshman wide receiver recruits coming in. Booby Feaster coming from the state of Texas. Yeah, we snatched it. Lincoln did snatch that boy up out of Texas, or just gave him a couple dollars to get out of Texas. But they Caden Dixon, Wyatt, and some other receivers going. But Cam Coleman, if you wanted to use, he would have been the veteran wide receiver in that offense, and he would have been really good. But I think him and Arch are going to do wonders in this offense. And Arch was saying that Ryan Wingo, the other wide receiver for Texas, was a key piece for Cam Coleman coming to Texas. But I think in Cam Coleman's eyes, you got to view the quarterback situation in a sense. A lot of teams are going to pay you, but you still want to get production on the field to be a number one wide receiver in the NFL draft. So we'll get into what Sark's doing with Raleek Brown and Noah Rogers as well, and their O line. Their O line needs a lot of help this year, so they bring in a lot of key pieces. Leave for the portal this year. Give me 1 second. Uh, So their losses, they lost Connor Stroh, Nate Kibble, Daniel Cruz, and Nick Brooks to the portal. Nick Brooks goes to the portal. He's a freshman. He didn't even give Texas a chance. And that's the thing about the portal. The portal is like you're a freshman and you think another school's gonna give you more playing time, or you think it's a better opportunity. Those coaches are probably texting you a lot. Hey, we need you, in this type of sense. But you didn't even really give Texas a chance, Nick Brooks. So he leaves. Maybe he wouldn't have gotten a chance at Texas. I think he should have because Texas needs line help. But they do bring in Trevor, or no, Siani. No, what's his name? I know it's Melvin Siani. That's his name. Trevor Gooseby is the starting center for them this year. He's going to leave after this year. But Melvin Siani's coming in from Wake Forest. He's a pretty sound, pretty well certified left tackle. Didn't give up any sacks this year. A couple pressures, and then he has some penalties in there. And Texas was the most uh, penalized team last year, so that should be something to watch for. But Texas, ever since Kelvin Banks was there, and Kelvin Banks was always known as 2 years ago, he was known as the top 10. Like he was going to go in the top 10, just as a player in the NFL. But I just like him going against Georgia. I didn't really see it. So like against top competition, it's seeming like Texas doesn't really like their O line hasn't really been in those situations. When you go against Florida, their D line just absolutely raised hell on Texas last year. So hopefully coming in this year, Texas can withstand what Florida has coming on, and Texas A&M's D line made something of Texas's O line. So we'll see what happens with their O line and how they all gel together. But their projected starting O lineman is Trevor Gooseby, Dylan Sikorsky. He's another portal player coming in. Connor Roberson, Brandon Baker. It'll probably be Siani in there too at left tackle. So that was probably be the starting O lineman for Texas. But another thing about Raleek Brown coming over from Arizona State, really fast running back. He started his career at USC. I wish we would have kept him. I don't know what happened. Lincoln sending a lot of guys out. It doesn't seem like Lincoln wanted to produce his guys. Let me just touch on my USC topic real quick. Let me just have this. Um, we've changed our roster like every year. I don't know why, but it's like this year we get out a lot of freshman players because this freshman portal class is doing great, but it seems like every year it's not the right year. It's like, oh, next year will be great. Next year, it's always the next year with Lincoln. So oh, it's hard being a USC fan. I would say that we should be in the playoffs by now. All I want is a playoff. I don't want to win. I do want to win in the playoff. I just want to make it though. You know what I'm saying? It just would be good to be included sometimes in the playoff. I'm just saying that's neither here nor there. But yes, they do bring in Raleek Brown from was it Arizona State, and he had about 1,000 rushing yards last year, which is really good to see. He should be a key back for them this year. I don't think in a sense he's going to have a lot of rushing yards for Texas this year. I think that he's going to be a passing back, like Hollywood Smothers. I think both of them are both put him in the backfield, put him in a wheel route, Texas route, things of that nature, outright, things like that. And I think they're going to cook in all those ways because the old lineman has to gel in the beginning of the season. I don't think the run game will be good in the beginning in the season. They have Ohio State second week, Florida really early, so there are two tests to see where their run game is at, and how well their O line is gelling. So but yeah, I think they're gonna, Sark is an offensive minded coach, so he's gonna, put them out, have a motion, have Raleek Brown motion out, get him touches that way. So it'll be really cool to see what the Texas, what Texas does this year. And Cam Coleman, yeah, just looking at this highlight right now, it would have been weird for him to go to Alabama too because Alabama, uh, what's it called? He lost to Alabama both years a year at Auburn. You play Alabama every year, but they were close losses. Those are tough to home. He probably would have been like Julius Peppers or Jabril Peppers. I think when Jabril committed to Alabama, but when he was supposed to commit to LSU, his mom was a LSU fan. I think that's right. I think I got the player right, but it was a big thing it was after a Under Armour game, and they're asking, you know how they do the hat commitments, and his mom was a real big LSU fan, and she wasn't happy about him picking Alabama, and she was like, "Go Tigers!" At the end, yeah, shout out Mama for that. Got to keep it real, but yes, sir. They're bringing in Michael Mansunis is another guy that they brought in, a tight end from Michigan State. He should be a veteran in that tight end room with who do they have in up in there right now? They got Nick Townsend. He should be pretty decent. Good recruit. He was a started some games as a true freshman last year. So let me know your thoughts on on the best portal class. Who has the best portal class? Because LSU and Ole Miss, they beat out Texas for the number one and number two spots. But in my eyes, Ole Miss brought in more projection over production. With They brought in 36 recruits. LSU bringing in 40 recruits over projection over production. Texas brings in Cam Coleman, and then LSU brings in a whole plethora of wide receivers, about 6 or 7 wide receivers, to see how they can project if one of them can hit off. So, or two, three. Tusi, the rapper might be something at LSU. You never know. You'll never know. But yeah, as y'all can see, him and Arch are bonding in practice again. They're getting acclimated. I think yesterday or today they had 2 touchdowns together in Austin. So if you're sticking with me for this video, shout out to y'all. But we're gonna get into this what's it called? This interview with Sark. And about their defense a little bit, y'all. Their defense, their defense should be really good. They're bringing back a lot of cornerbacks, and then Stark said Bo Masco, the transfer portal cornerback, is looking really good in practice. So that's really good to see. Rasheem Biles, I haven't heard anything from him. He was a top linebacker in the portal this year. So hopefully we get to hear more from him, because I wanted USC to get him. And USC, we haven't been getting linebackers at all. With Lincoln, it seems like it's all about the offense still. Stark, he's like, hey, our defense has to have, we got to have a defense to win championships out here. And Lincoln is just like, la di da di da. I live in LA and big houses and big cars and, bright lights. So shout out y'all. Hopefully y'all tuning in, go in there, do what the YouTubers say. I'm not going to say it. Go ahead, hit the little buttons. But Stark's right here talking about how he got acclimated to Austin and everything. So kind of what I touched on before. If Texas isn't really buying into him, Alabama situation like Kalen DeBoer. So we'll see what he's talking about with. Oh, my bad. Shout out Marshawn Lynch and Michael Robinson for this. And I'm muted.
Here. We're the largest city. Austin, Texas is the largest city in the U.S. with no major pro sports. So no NFL, no NBA, no Major League Baseball, but there's over 2 million people in the city of Austin.
Damn, bro. Rewind that for me real quick.
U.S. with no major pro sports. City, Austin, Texas is the largest city in the U.S. with no major pro sports.
Wow. Yeah, because I had to rewind that because there's Connecticut,
no Major League
there's a lot
Baseball,
of Alabama.
There's over 2 million people in the city of Austin. Like, we're an urban campus.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
That's actually crazy though, because it's like a Cali. 2 million. I didn't know Texas had people like that in Austin. I thought everybody living in Dallas and Houston and just the outskirts. No, I'm playing. I was San Antonio.
It's a college
but San Antonio
town,
got a major.
It's a city.
It's a real city. That's crazy. So y'all are the pro team here.
Yeah. I say all the time, we're the 33rd NFL team.
Yeah, for sure.
This is the Show Love segment brought to you.
That would be Alabama. He's getting into the sponsorships and everything. They got to do, you got to pay the bills. Got to pay the bills. I get it. But we're going to get back to this. Damn, they went on for like 10 minutes with the ads. And then I get an ad. Great.
Did you lose a lot of money sports betting?
Stick with me now. Hey, just go ahead and hit that 10-second. Just double tap real quick. We'll be there. You'll be there.
So do you use the city to kind of help you? I mean, obviously kids get paid now, but do you kind of use the city as a recruiting tool?
Definitely. All these kids now, they're into branding, their own brand. What does that look like? How to
With Cali, Cali having the taxes they have, I bet a whole bunch of businesses are moving. They're moving to Vegas, Texas, wherever, just to get away from the taxes that Cali's creating
Well,
right now. It's
how do I do
insane.
that? But I think it also helps in the fact of, back in the day when I was coming up, when you guys were coming up, we didn't go very far from where we were raised.
Nope.
Right? Like my case was a little different. I was a JUCO transfer. I actually went to SC out of high school as a baseball player. Then I went to El Camino. Then I went to BYU. Shoot, I wanted to play. I wanted to go throw the ball. You stayed home. You weren't far from home.
Nope.
But over the last decade or so, more and more kids are more apt.
There's that bag, and you see those. I'm sorry for pausing it, but you see a lot of SEC schools taking kids from Cali. I don't know what happened with, you know, I guess when USC got caught paying Reggie Bush and everything, the sanctions that they had on USC, they couldn't pay their players. But Cali kids have not been staying home at all. They go to Oregon. I get it; it's close, and you can get all the Nike and whatnot. But Texas kid, yeah, even Georgia kids. You see Georgia kids going to Florida, Florida kids going to Texas. Like they don't stay home, So
to go,
or Texas kids going to Florida, really. DJ Lagway. Now you return home. A lot of other
away
players
from
too.
home. And I don't know if that's because of social media. Twitter started around 08, 09, but it's been about the last 15 or so years, 10, 15 years, kids are more apt to go away. Well, to me, I'm still going to recruit California. That's wrong.
Shout out Sark. He's still gonna recruit. We're gonna produce players, but he said he's also trying to recruit that metropolitan area. If you didn't hear, it was about after one game. One of his defensive players had a really good game. He was from Dallas, so he was like, "Hey, I got to recruit the metropolitan area." But let us have California. Let Lincoln just get acclimated with California, what he's doing over there. Don't take our players yet, Sark.
We've gotten into now recruiting more into Georgia and into Florida. We're in the SEC, so Texas has gotten pulled in that direction. Well, it's a lot helpful for us to go sign 3 of the top kids out of Miami last year when they're leaving that area and they're coming to another city and they're not just going to a small college town. Right. So we use it in that aspect, like the kids from LA or the kids from the Bay. Okay, I can leave there and come here. I still see cars. I still see, buildings. I still see diversity.
And some guys, like one guy, Mason Graham. Yeah, he was straight from I think he was from Santa Ana or something. Goes to freaking cold Michigan, bro. What are you doing? Like, absolutely, what the hell, Mason Graham? He should have stayed home. I don't like, and the thing about cars and the city, I think a lot of LA people, I think a lot of kids now are trying to get away from that. The LA lifestyle and what it presents, because in LA, it's just not about football all the time. A lot of these other places, it's all about football. So I can get it in that sense why a lot of kids are leaving California, because LA is just, you're going to get distracted, things like that. Might be dirty, or if you're driving somewhere, you go to Austin, you just, it's all pretty and nice. Colorado, wow. And Georgia, fast cars, wow. Crash, all that. But Florida might be the same in sense. Florida kind of dirty too, but
I see those things. But I'm just telling you.
I mean, look, I went to Penn State College.
It's different, man.
It's small, bro. It's not a lot going on. When the school ain't in session, there is no city. Think about that. So when you got breaks and stuff, you like, that ain't staying. You got to go somewhere.
Yeah. Damn, well, I was 5 minutes from down the road.
Yeah, it's different. So do we use it? For sure. For sure.
I think you got to. I mean, what about like the business community? Because I would assume, being the fact that you got a lot more companies here because the city's bigger, that you can, kids can lean on that.
Well, I think it helps in 2 things. One, NIL, true NIL.
Yeah.
Forget pay for play. I'm talking about NIL. Like, everyone made a big deal. Well, shoot, it's almost 4 years ago now when Bijan signed an NIL deal with Lamborghini of Austin.
Talk about that, because I don't know if our audience really understand the difference. Because again, you said it just now, and it's perfect. You said NIL. We all think pay for play.
Right.
We don't really understand.
There's 2 of them.
Okay.
There is originally when all this started, there was
So NIL's kind of like sponsorships, and then pay for play might be from the school. I don't know. They were supposed to implement $20 million. That didn't fall through. LSU spending $40 million on the roster. Texas probably spent a boatload of money for Cam Coleman with what Texas Tech was probably offering him too. So bringing in some more portal guys, Raleek Brown, Hollywood Smothers.
The NIL was pay for play. It was the university's way to start collectives, to go through donors, to get get players paid to play. Let's just call it like it is. But in that time, there was true NIL that was happening too, meaning the player had his brand, his name, image, likeness, and he was able to sign deals with companies, some smaller, some bigger, for endorsements. Just like,
I feel like that was Travis Hunter in a sense, because Colorado, y'all heard the rumors about what they were paying Dion and what they started doing with NIL. They didn't know if they can compete for the next years in NIL. I feel like Travis most definitely was one of those NIL guys.
a pro player. Well, at that time, that's when Bijan got a car deal with Lamborghini of Austin, and everybody assumed we did that for him. We didn't. Bijan did that deal. He met the Lamborghini of people from Austin, Bruce and his team, at a car race in town.
Just
and
happened.
Bijan was being Bijan. You guys have been around him. He might be the nicest human being on the planet. On the planet. He was playing with their kids, and next thing you know, they worked a deal. Well, we've now reaped the benefit of it. Now I got 3 guys a year doing internships with Lamborghini of Austin, and so
Michael Taff.
It goes both ways, right? Those deals go both ways, because, like, do we tap into the businesses in town here? For sure. I got guys working at Tesla or doing internships with Tesla or now Google or Apple or oil and gas.
All of them
all here.
Yeah,
They're all here. They're all here now.
Of it's here,
oh, this is the Silicon Valley of Texas.
So now everybody sees this money is short term. I'm trying to.
Marshawn be funny, man. Yeah. They all moved over here. I heard about that. Right. Yeah, because the world is going to
our
poop.
Players see long term, right?
Or just California.
They all aren't going to play as long as you two played in the league. They all think they are. And that's great to have all the dreams and hopes and aspirations of that. But the reality of it is, even if they make it, they're going to be gone within 3 years. Then what are they going to do, right? So making these connections.
There was a lot of rumors. I'm sorry, I just got to touch on this right now. A lot of rumors about Sark leaving Texas, and it was coming from a certain type of girl that just resigned her job, Diana Rossini. And he blasted Diana. He blasted Diana for calling him out for trying to take the Titans job. He's like, I'm bought into Texas. I'm not leaving nowhere. Diana, man. Dirty Diana.
With the people here is huge.
Don't got no job.
But yeah, there's 2 sides to NIL, or at least there was. Now there's still we're trying to put the genie back in the bottle a little bit on this stuff, but understanding of what true NIL is. Like Arch Manning's on our team right now. He has true NIL, right? He's got to deal with Viore.
100%.
He's got to deal with Red Bull, right? We didn't do those deals. His people did those deals, right? We didn't do those deals.
Yeah, bro. When y'all were watching the season, bro, and when Arch was playing like crap, didn't y'all hate those freaking glasses commercial with his daddy, bro? Like, oh my God, bro. Like, play good football. Like, if you playing bad football, you got to take the commercials off the screen, bro. I'm sorry. You can't be playing bad football and then have commercials in college. That's just a no-go. So Arch, maybe he gets some more commercials this year, like when Baker came into the league, and then they were like kind of hating on Baker for having all these progressive commercials and things like that. Like, it's not the same thing, but Arch, he doesn't. I don't know. Like, you can have Instagram posts or whatever, but not when I'm watching my CFB, and I cannot wait for Saturdays. It's gonna be great. Just a couple 100 more days, man, for some great Saturdays, bro.
We just had 4 guys sign with Nike. Nike's now getting into that space of the collegiate athlete. They just signed 6.
What are you talking about, bro? They got Oregon over there. paying boatloads of money
These
to
teen
them.
athletes at Texas.
I
Unless you
mean,
got
it's
different
Adidas
smart.
parts
is
of
down that
Nike.
road.
Yeah,
Like
why not,
people are
bro?
in that space
And
now.
Adidas has been there, especially in the AAU basketball
Yeah.
side of it for a long
For
time.
a long time.
So this thing is really enormous, and then
McDonald's
trying to wrap
All-American.
our kind of grasp of it all, of what does this look like? What's our part in it?
Mhm.
Right? What's their agents? Everybody's got an agent now. High school kids got agents now, right? And then what is the role they play in making all that stuff happen? And so I think we're all trying to
Marshawn
navigate the
looking
waters
swole.
as best we can.
Coach, do you communicate with the kid differently now though? And I know we're getting into it.
I'm making more money than you. How you gonna tell me that I need to show up to practice?
And it's funny you say it like that, bro. But yeah, that's the spirit of it though. Like how you coach some of these younger kids.
Another topic. I gotta pause it, man. I got things to say. So, but what was I gonna say? Shoot, I just forgot. No, but with Cal, what was I gonna say? Damn, it's on the tip of my tongue too. Let me play
I
it.
think what's helped me, I spent 3 years in the league. I wasn't there a long time, but I was in the league in 2004.
Coach, do you communicate with the kid differently?
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. So with the third, with guys coming into the draft and them getting paid so much in college already, I don't think they're gonna have the same type of buy-in they have when they get to the league. I feel like the league, the NFL is just like a retirement thing now. Like, hey, like I made it, cool. Like it's gonna become like the NBA. Players aren't gonna try. It's not become more for the fans, or it's still a growing sport. So you have your superstars here and there that still love the game for what it is, but the majority as a whole, I don't think the game, because these players are getting paid early. So it's just like, why would their buy-in, or why would their drive stay in the NFL? And I get it, to get a next bigger contract that might push a lot of guys still. So, but I just don't know. For guys might be like, hey, I already got paid millions of dollars. I'm gonna retire early. Cool. So
Differently now though.
yeah, my
And I
bad
know
for
we're getting into it.
doing that to
Making
y'all
more
though.
money than you. How you gonna tell me that I need to show up to practice?
And it's funny you say it like that, bro. But yeah, that's the
And
spirit
if you
of
have
it
that
though.
type of
Like
mentality, is
how
like what I
you
said, you're not
coach
gonna
some of these
love
younger
football
kids.
no more.
I think the pro athlete's different than the collegiate athlete. Y'all always wanted to know why. If you knew the why, and you knew that at your core, the competitor in you wants to be the best that you can be, and you know why we're doing something, y'all would always go do it. As long as there was okay, that makes sense to me. But if it's just do as I say, that ain't gonna fly anymore.
You got to really explain it to them, like, hey, the NFL is next step. Then the NFL, like, you got to stay in the NFL, work 4 to 5 years to get your next big contract. Then whoop de whoop de whoop. But some guys, I mean, like, so my bank account says 5 mil. House, cars. I can get it right now if I wanted to. Next big contract. What do I really want?
Philosophical. Yeah. Starting to sound like one of your guys, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's
starting to sound a little peevish. Starting to sound a little peevish, man.
Hey, I work for
All right, we're going to stop it right here, y'all, for today. If y'all want more, if you guys want me to cover your team next, y'all let me know in the comments. Drop it down below. I will be making more content for y'all, but hopefully y'all tuned in. Y'all do what all the YouTubers say. I'm not going to say it.